you all doing? It is time for the Homestretch video. Last year I got this filmed with about 6 weeks out. This year's been a little crazier and scheduling's tighter and all that kind of stuff. One difficulty I have too is that, after I finish teaching a slate of like 7 or 8 hours straight, my voice is tired, and to do this, to film something for the channel, you got to kind of bring the energy. You've got to kind of be engaged and I don't know how to explain it, but be presentable to an audience online. And so I get done and I'm too tired and I can't film, and then the next morning I've got appointments and things like that. But here we are, it's coming in a little bit late, and I'm calling it Homestretch 2022 LFG. If you don't know what this stands for, it stands for looking for group. If you ever played World of Warcraft, and you should be looking for a study group. Oh, did you think it meant something else? You have no proof of that. Let's go. 2 weeks till the A test. Okay, about 2 weeks. Today is what? Tuesday. A test is on Thursday. 2 weeks after this Thursday is the A test. As expected, we had talked about this before the dates were announced. They are probably not going to move it. They are probably in November to stay. I'm nearly 100% certain of that. You can expect it yearly at this point. It took a long time for them to change it, so they're probably not going to change it again too quick. Last lap of the track mentality. What is this about? When I was a kid, I used to run on the track a little bit. We didn't get a track till like my junior or senior year of high school. And when I finally got access to it, I would run quite a bit. And whenever I did run on the track just for exercise, and it feels good to run. If you've never run on a track and you feel the wind go by you and it's like you're pacing, you're breathing, all of that. Whenever I would run, sometimes, 16 laps, which is about 4 miles approximately. And you get to the last lap. And I don't know, there's something about the way that I would just approach it. Nobody taught me. I didn't have a coach to tell me this. It was more so that I wanted that last quarter of the lap, or the last half a lap, to be an all-out. You just break for it. You just go. Everything that you've got left, everything you've got left in your lungs, in your legs, in whatever it is, you go full speed. You sprint. If you're not collapsing at the end, then you didn't run hard enough. It was just something I did for myself. Nobody expected this of me, but I expected it of me. Why? You're doing it for exercise, right? You're doing it for a purpose, and I wanted to get everything out of my body that I possibly could. If there was anything left on the table, I used it right then. Whatever I had saved up or stored energy or anything, I don't care if I was tired. I don't care if my lungs were burning. It was go time, and you just go. And that's what it is. And so I kind of encourage you to have this mentality right now, right? It's a sprint right now. We got 2 weeks to go. No excuses. Give it everything you've got. That's basically it. Expect that of yourself. Okay? And this goes not just for this contest, but for anything you do. When you start approaching that finish line, you approach it with the tenacity and then finish the job. Okay, so what's this about? What's done is done. Move forward. Let's come back to that one in a moment by going to this one. Your time investments over the last year, right? Some of you are hitting this test and you've been really working. I've had some of you as students in my classes, and you've been putting in the time. You're every week a few hours consistently going through. If you invested a lot of time, now is the time to capitalize. Now is the time to, finish the job. Sprint for the finish line, get it done, okay? But perhaps you're one of these people that has not invested that much time. I've talked to a few people about this, and they're doing other things. They're doing physics competitions. They're doing coding competitions. They're an athlete. Whatever it might be, computer science and all kinds of stuff that you do, it tends to be people who take this test are going to be pretty talented. They're multi-talented, and they can do a bunch of different things. And it can become difficult to manage your time. And so I just want to encourage you, don't feel bad. You made a decision to invest the time in other things, and that's fine. If you don't make Amy this year because you invested in those other things, don't feel bad. You made the decision for a reason. You wanted to pursue and develop your skills in those areas, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to qualify for Amy to feel like it was worth your time, right? So just go. If you're one of those people who didn't have the time to invest, the entire year and put all that time in, and now you're coming in to the finish line, that's fine. Have fun with it. Take these last 2 weeks and you can sprint as well. And maybe you don't make Amy, and maybe you do, and maybe you thought last year you were going to pursue USAMO or JMO this year, and now that's maybe not a possibility because you're invested in other things. Then there's nothing to be discouraged about, right? You got something out of it. You did the other things. You hopefully improved your skill in those areas, whatever they were that you were seeking to develop, but that doesn't mean you have to lament it now at this time. That's a poor mentality to have, and you want to try to avoid thinking in that way. Okay, so just go for it still, finish strong. It doesn't matter whether you lived up to your expectations you set for yourself at the end of last year. And so this is what I say, what's done is done. It's done. You can't do anything about it. There's no sense in dwelling upon whatever you feel. Your feelings are just going to hold you back. Let go of it. Don't poison your thinking process. Don't be negative. You move forward. Time's not waiting. It's not going to wait for you to shore up how you feel. You move forward. You let go of that. Drop that weight. It doesn't matter. You're not a failure. You just go. You move forward. You do the best you can with what you have left for time, and that's the only way that you can think about that. Okay, so I would say maybe if you don't qualify for Amy, you get within one question. Maybe that's a big win when you didn't spend an entire year preparing. Many students do spend multiple years preparing for this test. So do the best you can, live with it. So I got over here a Brady quote, and I got this quote, I saw it on from Tom Brady's podcast. If you don't know who Tom Brady is, he's widely considered the best football player of all time because the quarterback is the most important position, and he's got seven rings, seven of them. Okay, so he's got a lot. He's never been 2 games below 500 in his career. He might fall that way this Thursday. But anyways, he's got a quote here, and it's talked about the adversity his team is facing this year. And if he says here, quote, "If you look at a loser mentality, you do quit when it gets hard. You do quit when things don't go your way. And I think the beautiful part about life is the adversities challenge you to figure out who you really are. They challenge you to dig deep." Okay, and he goes on to talk about it in the context of his team, but that's the part I wanted to present to you. Maybe you've faced adversities this year. Maybe you've been struggling with motivation. Maybe you've been struggling with whatever thing's going on in your personal life, your family life, your school life, whatever it might be that has held you back. Okay, so you're facing those adversities. Now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to respond to the adversity. He says later, he gives the analogy, when there's a car crash, there's people who run towards it and there's people who run from it. Okay, so he wants to be among the people who run towards it. They're ready. They know they're facing this adversity. They're in a crisis moment for their team, trying to save the season, and he's ready to go. You might be trying to save your season, if you will, of math prep, whatever it might be, but now's the time to respond. So do it. I like the Brady quote, big fan. Okay, so small notebook. What is this about? This is just the things that I would do in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch for 2022. And I highly recommend the small notebook concept. If you don't know what that is, there's a video on it on my channel fully explaining it. It's basically a place where you summarize all the key concepts, formulas, and ideas that you've learned that are personal to you. You can write it in any way you want. It's not just formulas, right? It's just ideas that you found in your study time that you thought, wow, that's really powerful or interesting. I think I could use that. I'm going to write that one down. And you just make a list and go through. And you can watch that video to understand more. Mock past tests. What's going to be on the test? Well, a good indicator is what's been on the past tests. There are other mock tests. Those are of some value. They're not worthless. They're worth doing. But if you haven't done at least probably the last 10 years of tests, then I would do those. I would save the 2021 tests. There were 4. There were 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall. I would save those for the final week, right? And you got maybe the final, you get like 1 a day or something that final week, something like that. I highly recommend that because it's going to prepare you the better than anything else. It's going to have all topics that were definitely on the test. Okay? What's something that you struggle with? You're not good at 3D Geo. Fine, go locate handouts on it. Go locate stuff for it. No, I don't have time to do your research for you. That's what the internet is for. You might be able to go into my Discord server and ask there, and there might be other students who have recently researched this topic and they can talk to you about where they found a resource. There is a resources channel on there as well. It's mostly not been updated in a long time, but there's still lots of good things on there. You can check my channels on my YouTube. Sohail Rathi has recently started posting videos again. And he was busy too. Life gets busy. It's not easy for people who make a channel and to try to keep up with it when they have other responsibilities in life. He's recently posted some videos. He does a really good job in there of explaining some key ideas. Maybe benefit from his channel as well. Obviously, you've got Osman Null and others as well. I would check them out. So check Discord for handouts, but minimize social media. Okay, social media can be a big time drain. Control it. Control yourself. Control the dopamine release in your brain. Let it go. Focus. Sprint. No excuses. Okay? So this is go time. That's why we're looking for group. It's let's look for group. Okay, so anyhow, lastly, I'm going to leave you with the quote that I gave last year in the same Homestretch video. I hope you can benefit from it. It says, there is not what was. This is my quote. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I think it's just a good point. Okay? There is not what was, nor what will be. There is only what is now and what you're going to do about it. So what does it mean again? There is not what was. That's the past. All that's happened in the past, that's gone. It is in history now. It doesn't matter your level of prep over the last year. That's gone. It's done. Let it go. Okay? But there's not what will be. Right? So you might dread the upcoming test and your results and all of that. None of that matters. And your expectations for yourself on the upcoming test, your score, where you want to be at after that moment, right? That's what will be. Okay, don't think too much about that. Yes, maybe a little because you're trying to plan for something and have the goal in mind. That's fine. But what matters is now. It's now time. It's go time. Okay, so this is it. We're on the home stretch. You got 2 weeks. Sprint for the finish. I will try to put up another video the day before the test like I usually do each year. I found out you guys like that, and I like to do what I can to help encourage you to do the best that you can and then live with the results. I will also hopefully be filming all of the solutions the day of the test and try to get them up for you as I've done in the years past. That's all I've got for you for now. If you're interested in classes, reach out at my email. It's on my About page. You can also go, if you're going to be purchasing books, you want to support the channel, there's a web page. If you go there and use that, they are affiliate links. It does support the channel when you purchase through those links. That's all I've got for you for now. That's it, I guess. I'm gonna go stop the video. You guys have a good one.